Okay, here's a video of what my computer is doing with Core Performance Boost enabled, and it just randomly started doing this. It's never had a problem with this. This is what I normally have it set at. You see that I have my OC settings, and I went ahead and set the Core Performance Boost multiplier to the same multiplier as my OC. The reason being is because I get the dual boot, which I will demonstrate in this video as well. Now, this has worked fine for about the last year, and all of a sudden now it has an issue. So here you are, my computer is on. The light is tied into the power supply, so you'll be able to determine when it actually powers off. And so what I'm going to do is just take a look at my settings here. If you're curious, if it focuses, alright, great. So I'm going to go ahead and haven't changed anything, just took a picture for you of that Core Performance Boost option in my Rev 4. Now I'm just going to go ahead and simply save and exit setup. Yes, I am sure. There we go. Alright, so there's our cool black screen. Computer has not switched off, hasn't done anything. Not going to think about doing anything either. So it's going to stay doing this. Yep, that's all it'll do. Now, this is what's required to actually get it back. Now, reset button. Nothing. No reset button. Hard power button. Hold it down. Non-responsive. So, what you end up having to do is switch it off. Now you actually have to listen for my speakers to show that the capacitors have leaked down. There it goes. Otherwise, if you turn it back on, it's still unresponsive. So now you have to completely bleed down the motherboard of power. Now I can turn it back on and boot it back up. Now, having to do that every time I reboot is paramount to pulling my hair out. It's just absolutely unnecessary. Now, I'm going to go ahead and access the BIOS again. Now we can boot. Now, if I hadn't accessed the BIOS, I'd boot up to my normal operating system, I'd be just fine. Now let me go ahead and demonstrate for you the differences in turning it off. Alright, it's on auto, obviously, which is on with my setting for my multiplier. Let's go ahead and turn it off. Disabled. Excellent. Now we'll go to save and exit setup. Now, very simple. I'm going to watch this. I'm going to switch it over to the computer real quick because I want you to highlight what it's doing. I am clicking save and exit now. Shuts the computer off to then turn it back on. There it goes. That's the double boot procedure. If I were to turn on the computer from a cold boot, it would turn on for a couple of seconds, off, and then back on, and then boot to my operating system. That is why I've had Core Performance Boost on with the multiplier this whole time. Because it doesn't do that. Well, it didn't. Now it just flat won't reboot or do anything. So, yeah, that's absolutely annoying. Now, outside of the other continuing issues that I've had with this motherboard, and the BIOS in particular, the motherboard's great. It's built well, and they finally got the cooling on the VRMs that was necessary. The board it could be potentially the best board on the market. The BIOS is lackluster in every way. Another thing that I have a problem with, why are we showing no multipliers on the North Bridge and Hyperthread? Why are we continuing with this 24-22 where we have to do the calculation ourselves? Absolutely unnecessary. Another concern, why is voltage all of a sudden medium, extreme, normal, auto, from standard, low, medium, extreme? What is it? I mean, there is no principle that actually makes sense to try to discern what the LLC setting is. Give us a range. Low, medium, high, extreme, that's it. Whatever it is. That's absolutely annoying. Outside of that, this BIOS is absolutely terrible, and I have dealt with the Rev 3, which is in my other system over there. Now, that Rev 3 has, obviously, you all know, the throttling issues that plague that board. Now I have an 1100T running in that board, not overclocked, and the thing still throttles. Yes, I do use quite a bit of Adobe Premiere And I was doing quite a bit of encoding on that machine until I obviously built this machine. Now, because it actually throttles, and I wasn't aware of the fact that I was actually losing performance on it. Now, I want to continue to keep these boards, but you know what? Honestly, the BIOS needs to be changed on these things. It's absolutely terrible on both the Rev 3 and the Rev 4. It's just not acceptable. Now, please, if you could look into this, if you could do some R&D on these BIOSes, maybe put out a BIOS for us enthusiasts that are all over OCN that are absolutely hating this board right now. That would be excellent. There are quite a few people that are jumping ship from these Gigabyte boards and going straight to ASUS, to MSI, because of the BIOS. It isn't the board itself that's the problem. It's just the BIOS. If you guys could fix that, you guys would have quite a bit going on. Thank you.